From the Lower Colorado River Authority, this is Wavelength.
The creation of this new river authority will help electrify rural Texas.
And so today, we gather here to dedicate this mighty structure, the Cannondale.
This has been a great organization for 70 years, and it's going to be a great organization for a long time to come.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the December 2004 edition of Wavelength. Well, it probably will not come as any surprise that November 2004 was one of the wettest months ever recorded in the Colorado River Basin. Communities all up and down the river received as much as 10 to 15 inches of rainfall in a single week. The hill country was the first to get hit with a heavy rain, forcing floodgate openings at all 6 of LCRA's dams. From the River Operations Center in Austin, people worked around the clock, keeping watch over the inflows to the lakes. 100 miles to the northwest, the Hydro Operations Control Center was managing floodgate operations. With Lake Travis on the rise, another storm system moved over the lower part of the river basin, creating a second flood. LCRA moved quickly to close the floodgates at Mansfield Dam to avoid sending too much water downstream. Nothing pulls the LCRA together like a flood in both the upper and the lower part of the river system. The Thanksgiving Day flood forced many parts of the company to work exceptionally hard and long to ensure that the waters passed safely downstream. There was great communication between departments on what needed to be done, and perhaps more importantly, information was getting to the general public faster than ever.
And then what we can do is we can click on the map and actually go to the area where they reside, and we can look at the information and tell them what's going on. And then we have projections that we can tell them based on lake levels and what gates we're going to open. And this information is also available to the public, so a lot of them are looking at the same thing on the website as we're talking to them.
If there's one thing that was different about this flood, it's the way in which the LCRA communicated with its river constituents.
I'm very impressed with the fact that the information is instant, so any information they're getting is what's actually happening now as they're calling in.
Communities downstream of Austin were contending with both the rising level in the Colorado as well as a relentless rain. Here in Wharton, where the river rose more than 4 feet above flood stage, the LCRA Rangers set up their mobile command center to assist local authorities in rescuing stranded residents as well as securing the flooded areas. At the peak of the flood, a team from LCRA, including General Manager Joe Beal, met with city officials to listen to their concerns and to determine what assistance the LCRA could provide.
Our obligation is to put communities and customers first, and we've done that here. We have had employees working for well over a week now, handling the flood hotline, doing the calculations that have to be done, the field guys that are here. We sent down the mobile command center. We've been manning it. The LCRA has put this community first, and we're showing that by the way that our people are putting out and helping.
Wharton is one of many communities that is a member of LCRA's Floodplain Coalition, which was established partially to help communities cope with floods such as this.
The biggest thing is that we've developed relations with the folks that can give us the right information so we can do the right planning. Planning is critical, and staying ahead of things is critical, because in '98, every time we did something or thought we had something planned, we were always playing catch up, which frustrates your local officials and the folks that have to go out and do the job. So this time, I think, the information was critical.
So even though this flood might not go into the record books, there were lessons learned that will help the LCRA fight the next flood.
After 14 months, this project to upgrade and strengthen Tom Miller Dam so that it can withstand the worst possible flood is complete. Improvements to the dam include anchoring the spillway section into the bedrock with steel cables, adding reinforced concrete to the hollow sections of the dam, replacing the concrete in the rollways where floodwaters flow down from the gates, and reinforcing the impact slab below the dam. This is the final project in LCRA's 10-year, $52 million dam modernization program, which made major improvements to Wirtz, Inks, Buchanan, and Tom Miller dams.
The board and the staff, we're all extremely excited about the fact that this is the end of that project. We think that the people up and down the basin are safer today because of it. It's been a monumental project for us, and we are so pleased that we finally can say that this is the end of that project, and we look forward to a safer river and a safer part of Texas.
Talk about timing. The day after this equipment was removed from the site, gates were opened at Tom Miller to pass floodwater downstream.
Higher gas prices, higher food prices. The cost of living is on the rise. The same is true for the cost of doing business. At LCRA, our goal is to provide the best service to our customers at the lowest possible cost. Whether it's park entrance fees or wholesale electric power, we strive to hold the line on expenses. As part of an overall services review, the 2005 LCRA business plan has a goal of finding $5 million in savings.
Our goal is not to be reducing programs and efforts. Our goal is to find the efficiency in what we do every day to allow the $5 million to be reinvested in our existing delivery of services that we provide. If we can save $250,000 on office supplies without really changing how we do our business, that's 4 or 5 people. That's only one commodity. So as we look at all of these, it's about making sure that we're not cutting services, but we are really managing the best use of every dollar for LCRA.
Employees have submitted over 100 ideas for ways to save money. One of those suggestions concerning office supplies has turned into real savings. LCRA has joined forces with other large public power utilities to contract for office supplies from Staples. Jeanette Melcher is an office manager in water services. She served on an office supply task force made up of employees from all business units.
We work with Staples to formulate our standard and our preferred list, and in working with them we were able to get many green products on our list as well as minority-owned businesses.
This initiative also has a huge direct impact on environmental quality. By ordering office supplies on the same day, Tuesday, and having them all delivered on Wednesday, this will reduce the number of delivery trips to LCRA by 1,500 each year. That equates to a huge reduction in the amount of nitrous oxide and carbon dioxide released into the atmosphere. It also cuts way down on packaging materials.
I think the best benefit was to show the correlation between environmental savings and economic savings. A lot of folks think that you have to spend money to help the environment. In reality, when you are being more efficient, you're actually helping the environment. And here we're saving a lot of money.
If people use the project the way it's designed and Office Staples the way it's designed, then we could potentially save $250,000 a year. That's through labor savings and product savings. We get a 5% rebate back at the end of the year for every dollar spent through Staples.
LCRA has also joined its co-electric partners to purchase transmission wire, a move which could result in $1.5 million in annual savings. Other areas being looked at for savings and efficiencies include travel expenses, cell phones, and mail standards.
Hundreds of employees, retirees, and family members gathered in Smithville recently for the 2004 LCRA Veterans Recognition Day. The theme of this year's event, Saluting Freedom's Finest, honors our men and women in uniform, both past and present.
Donald was proud to be a Marine. He was ready and willing to serve his country, and he believed.
A special video tribute to Second Lieutenant Donald Matoka of Smithville was also presented. Lieutenant Matoka was killed in action on April 5, 1968 in South Vietnam. His body remained missing for the next 36 years.
He was needed there, and he was committed to doing what was needed to do there.
He was finally laid to rest in Smithville with full military honors in September 2004.
Welcome home, Donald. Welcome home.
I don't know how you adequately measure Donald Matoka's sacrifice. It's more than a number in a casualty count. It's the loss of a brother and son who was loved and adored by his family and respected by his friends. It is the children he might have had, the achievements he might have made with his engineering degree, the contribution to his community that were all stolen by his death in combat.
In the last 2 years, 7 LCRA employees have been called to serve in the U.S. Army Reserves or Texas National Guard, and many LCRA family members are currently serving overseas. Gail Oliver has been with LCRA for 18 years. Her son, Brant Wathen, is currently serving in Iraq. Brant is helping train Iraqi police in Baghdad. Gail says the help and support from her fellow employees at LCRA has made a big difference.
Oh, it's tremendous. I tell Brant every time that I talk to him that someone has asked me about him that day. There has never been a day go by that somebody does not ask me how he's doing, how his unit is doing. People email him. People that have known him since he was a little boy ask me, you know, he grew up here at LCRA, ask me how he's doing, is there anything he needs, you know, what do we hear from him? And it's so supportive because he knows that we've not forgotten those folks over there.
At the Ferguson Power Plant in Marble Falls, 2 LCRA employees have loved ones who are currently serving in Iraq.
We're making breakfast tacos so we can make a little extra cash to be able to send boxes to Iraq. One for my son, Tim Broach, and one for Roger McGill, Janice's husband.
The care packages contain razors, handy wipes, chapstick, jerky, cards, snacks, stationery, everyday items that are so hard to get over there. David Broach's son, Timothy, is a Navy hospital corpsman with the 1st Marine Expeditionary Group in Fallujah.
He told us Sunday that he hadn't even slept in 4 days, other than maybe a 5-minute quick nap or something like that in between things. So these guys are exhausted, and what they're doing for us, what they're doing now over there is more important than we could even begin to realize.
Janice McGill's husband, Staff Sergeant David McGill, has been in Iraq since July. He just found out he is scheduled to come home in January. Her 6 children all decided to wait and have Christmas after Dad returns.
It goes without saying, if I ask for help, it's there, ready and available to me. It's there even without asking. And my children know it too. They feel the reassurance. I've had several times the kids have made comments to me about how nice the send-off was, or, you know, how nice somebody offered to come and fix our hot water heater, or they worked on my vehicle so that, you know, we would not be without transportation. The kids have noticed that as well, and my husband has that reassurance, and he has made comments to me also that it's very comforting to know that we have so many people here for us, really great people.
All of these employees say the LCRA Veterans Day event had very special meaning for them this year.
Well, let me talk just briefly about the presidential appointee process.
Keynote speaker Dr. Dale Klein says he is proud to be a part of this kind of organized support for our veterans.
Well, I think this celebration is tremendously important for LCRA to have sponsored. The comment that the men and women in uniform will oftentimes ask, how are we appreciated and thought of back home? So events like this have a tremendous role to play, not only for the families, but also for the men and women in uniform.
This month on Board Profile, meet Clay Nettleship, representing San Saba County. Clay Nettleship was appointed to the LCRA Board of Directors by Governor Rick Perry in January 2004. Clay is an attorney in private practice in San Saba. He deals mainly with wills, trusts, and estate planning. Clay also manages his family's ranching operations in Central and South Texas.
These are my girls. This is Allison, the oldest. She's 8 years old. She is competing today in the oral reading contest in Ballinger for the UIL. And this is my baby. She is 7. Her name is Madeline. We call her Maddie. And she is actually helping grandmother with Thanksgiving plans.
On the staff's progress on the May board resolution action items.
Since joining the board, Clay says he's been surprised by how large LCRA is and the diversity of its mission.
I've also been extremely impressed with the quality of the staff. It's an amazing organization staffed by amazing folks, and that has been really a surprise. Their abilities to do all the things that LCRA is involved in, it's amazing to me, and I'm very pleased to, and really pleased to get to serve with them.
Clay says he had some preconceived ideas about how LCRA would be.
I felt like it was going to be an organization that was out of touch, that perhaps didn't care about the little guys or us rural folks, and I'm not finding that to be true at all. I feel like that the folks in the organization, the overwhelming number of folks in the organization, do care about the people they serve, and that's such a relief to get to be a part of that.
Clay's family has owned property on the Colorado River since 1887, and he feels a special connection with that history.
My grandparents both love the river. They both grew up on the Colorado, on the banks of the Colorado. And I think they would be proud that I've become one of its stewards.
Clay and his family are very active in their church. He also loves to read and has recently started acting in community theater productions. He's currently playing Captain Von Trapp in The Sound of Music.
Okay.
Clay Nettleship's term on the LCRA board will expire in 2009.
We're out here at beautiful McKinney Roughs, and I want to take just a moment and thank you for a great year this past year. And we're looking forward to another fantastic year coming up this next year. We've got a lot of opportunities and a lot of challenges in front of us, and I know it's going to be a fun year. We're in our 70th year now at LCRA, and I know that the first year had its challenges as the organization started up. The challenges that are in front of us for this coming year are going to be equally as well met as we have in the past. I want to take this opportunity also to wish everyone a happy holiday season. Please be safe. Think about safety while you are at home. And let's especially be thankful for those employees that are going to be working during this holiday season, keeping the lights on, keeping the water flowing, keeping our parks open, keeping our dams operating. All of we employees at LCRA, thank you for the services that you're given over this holiday season. Everyone have a happy holiday, and we'll see you next year.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let yourself be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight.